Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Detail. I'm bringing you actually my first commentary on the finals, which is pretty surprising considering how much time I've invested into this game. This is probably 100% the most played FPS, I guess, outside of Halo, but like I wasn't even really shooting people in that game. But I mean, like I have twice my CS hours, and I've had that game since like 2015. And then Siege, I have quite a lot of hours between PC and console, but I'm nearing 1,300 hours on the finals, which is pretty crazy. No game ever really keeps my attention this much. It helps that I'm pretty good at the game. I'm not like cracked, but I'd say I'm pretty good at the game. And this is just a fun little model tourney on Fortune. Model's one of the guns that has kind of come back to life since the Serb Feinray got its much needed and deserved nerf in the game. But Model was always super fun. That like Season 3 TA era and into Season 4 after the Pike got nerfed when it was introduced. Model was that was the meta. It was triple medium, double heal beam, 1 DMAT. And it was pretty fun for a period of time, for about like maybe a third to like halfway through the season. I was on it. I was really enjoying it, to be honest. I know Model isn't really the best controller weapon, which is the input I do use, and I'm using this gameplay because controller doesn't get any aim assist on shotguns, as far as I'm concerned. So I think a lot of controller players definitely struggled in that era. Super mouse and keyboard heavy, for sure. But I mean, you gotta get close anyways, so it's not impossible to use or anything. And there's plenty of controller players that are nasty on non-favored controller guns. I think a lot of the I guess quote-unquote flick weapons like Model or Revolver, Repeater, things like that, it's kind of the pocket that's a little harder for controller players. Obviously the good ones will make it work regardless, but you find a lot of the guys, you know, lean towards the semi-automatic weapons and like the burst rifles like the Moss 93R. And I also think class-specific can be better or worse for controller. I find heavy a lot harder to play on controller. I mean, obviously, just like the best of the best are just gonna run shit regardless. Guys like Stu J, Grad. I know Stu. I watched him do heavy 1v1s with Busy, and he was kind of frying like Busy's like top 2 heavy in the game, and Stu was kind of giving him problems. But that guy's obviously insane at the game, so just gonna make it work regardless. But yeah, I was saying like the FAMAS, weapons like that, and I was saying class-specific stuff. I think light is actually a lot easier to manage for controller. Obviously, you gotta be good at the game. You can't just play controller and hop on light and then just fry people. That's not how it works. But I think it's easier to control, especially with dash meta now. Those movements are a little easier, just moving the stick side to side, opposed to like moving your whole arm to track shit while dashing. I think that's the biggest advantage. I think medium's actually, funny enough, the most balanced in that sense, where just, I guess, play style dependent, like however you want to play the game. Controller or MNK can easily just make it work. So I think heavy's MNK favored, light maybe controller favored, and then medium kind of falls in the middle, which is kind of cool. I think you see that with who people consider, you know, best in the game at each kind of class. Light people say Uni, Sujay, Grad, probably the top 3 in the comp scene. It's not really a pro scene quite yet. Maybe we'll get there. Then heavies got Lamb, Busy, you know, depending on the day, or if he's playing the game, Swaco, Belize, guys like that. And then medium, mainly MNK guys, I'd say, like STN, Brindy, Normalize, guys like that. Those are all MNK guys. But I'm seeing some more controller players make waves, which which is always fun to see. Like I said, I think models right now the most fun. I definitely needed a break from it during that Season 4 model era. Even I got tired of it as someone who I think competed pretty well with a lot of the M&K guys. I said that I think that was an M&K favored meta, but it really did just get super tiring during that era. You know, you'd want to use a different gun eventually. I think that was a like 90 to 100 day season. It was pretty damn long. Point being, and as much as I am good at the model and I find it really fun, it got really tiring, and there was a point where I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to play the game anymore, because you literally couldn't run anything else for fun if you wanted to compete, even in like World Tour, which at that time was really what I played most of the time. I usually just played for Diamond with my friend Luke. He'd help me out to get Diamond, and then, you know, call it a season for rank because I didn't really care about Ruby. But funny enough, if you noticed, I do have Season 6 Ruby badges and charms. So I did successfully go for Ruby last season. It was the first time I felt like I wanted to push ranked, and FAMAS was honestly the first like meta weapon. Lewis gun in Season 4, I absolutely probably would have gone for now in hindsight, because I really like Lewis gun. But it's just not good anymore, not really viable, which is unfortunate. But FAMAS, it's a peak weapon. It is a meta weapon, and it's a gun I liked enough to justify like wanting to try for it. And yeah, I made it happen. Finished at 492. If you watch Luke's videos or if you haven't seen them, he kind of broke it down a little bit, the whole journey, and it was absolutely a movie. I'm glad I went for it though. It was fun, and I mean, it was quite a grind. There were some ups and downs, a lot of ups, but definitely had a down period. It wasn't easy by any means, but it was fun. And like I said, I love this game so much, so I wanted to try and get Ruby at least one time, and it kind of happened to be the hardest season to go for it, which, considering the weapon and where it's at in the meta, makes sense. But pretty cool getting it in a season like that, and the weapon it was on, whatnot. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. Haven't really talked about the gameplay at all. I think the first round was, I don't even remember at this point. I don't know. I won't spoil the stats for the end, but like I said, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was a pretty solid tourney. I was just having fun, and my shot, I felt like my shot was pretty on. If I really wanted to, you know, min-max kills, I probably would have want to double the box, just get as many engagements as possible and stuff like that, or at least stagger it. But I was solo queuing for fun. My DMAT teammate in this game was actually pretty solid. You'll see, him and I basically had pretty much identical stats by the end of it. Pretty cool. So I was just chilling, and I thought this was pretty entertaining. So I like watching model gameplay a lot. It's probably some of the most fun in the game. Post a weapon I just died there, you know, like pike or flamethrower or something stupid. They said those flick heavy weapons like revolver, I think repeater, and model are all some of the most fun to watch in the game. And then those like super heavy tracking weapons like FCAR, or I guess AK, or on light ARN, super fun to watch. You know, none of the guns that are super busted, which I think the devs have done a good job to this point, kind of getting there where nothing is too broken. I think Pike is the main one that could use a nerf. But other than that, I don't really think anything stands out, like needs to be changed. Like everything has a pretty rightful counter now. Even guns that are super strong in the right hands, like a minigun, it's not like super free to use for everyone. And like I said, the counter with null, which has been a pretty underutilized gadget, I think, up to this point. I've been messing around with it when I run light, and if you use it properly, it can definitely be super annoying. And I feel like that's one of those things that people tried to use when it got introduced back into the game. Like I said, it's not a free kill anymore, so like it used to be with the stun gun. So you kind of gotta, it's more pure stall potential. But like I said, if you use it correctly, I think it can be very annoying for teams to deal with. So I think that might be one of those things that we see as time goes on, people kind of come back to and mess around with. It always happens when the meta gets kind of stale. You see people mess around with it. Uni started running V9S, and 93R has been really heavy utilized here recently, which is kind of surprising that, you know, considering how good the gun actually is, now that people are using it, it's kind of surprising that it's pretty overlooked up until this point, and it really only got the, here just recently, the, like a pull-out time buff, Lamau, and the extra, I think it was extra 3 bullets, so you get an extra burst out of it. But other than that, like the damage, I don't think it's changed in a while. I mean, 21 bullets is still quite a bit, but like it makes sense when you think of the way a lot of these gunfights play out. You know, super close range dependent, playing with a team, and now with the healing infuser. So it makes sense for guns like that to be more utilized, in my opinion. You know, the close range stuff. You know, obviously, there's time and place in certain maps and situations where you want the Pike or the FAMAS or the Aaron. But I always thought guns like M11 and, like I said, 93R are super interesting. You see Model even ran, you know, it's not like that good. I think probably FAMAS or Pike would be better just in almost any situation and how you want to play medium in an HML meta. But there's a time and place for Model, and I think it'll be really interesting when we get qualifiers and some of these major tourneys, especially the 100K major, to see how teams kind of decide to play things out. Because I think map dependent is the major thing when trying to decide between, you know, what you want to run. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's neat to mess around with stuff like that. I could be curious, you know, if Pike does get nerfed, do we see? So I imagine it happens at some point if it gets too good. And being able to 3-tap a light, especially at the rate of fire it has, is kind of insane. But if that happens, does Repeater kind of get pulled into the meta? It's a little harder to use, much less forgiving. Like I said, the rate of fire on that one is pretty slow, but the damage output is much higher. You can 2-tap light to that one. I mean, weapons like that just chunk are, I think, super valuable and just hard to deal with in general. But it'll be fun. So I'm gonna be paying attention to tourneys and the qualifiers and the major. And I've been playing the game a lot more. If I can find a way out of state where I can comfortably say I'm pretty good at the game. So I'm not, I don't think I compete in a pro scene or anything like that, but this is my main 3-stack that, you know, kind of got to Ruby with Luke and our boy Awesome Frog. I mean, those guys are cracked, so they do a lot of the heavy lifting. But I mean, I'm on medium, so it's kind of not my role anyways. But I feel like I can put in work and I pull my weight when needed. But yeah, we're coming to the end of this model tourney here in about a minute. So we ended up griefing in this triple light team because you almost never want to do that, but they were pretty bad enough to the point where we're just like, okay, this is kind of just free. And then on model, so I can 2-tap at the right range. Yeah, get this last kill here, and yeah, this is the end of the tourney. Pretty solid game. You'll see the stats, and I'll let it play out for himself. But anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. So this game wasn't anything crazy, but it was pretty damn solid. So, you know, 30-4 here, 18k damage, not bad on model. Just a little solo queue world tour. But appreciate you watching, and I have a quiz video coming soon. So until next time, peace out.